begin.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to this 12-part series on the power of your core. Now, as you already know, I'm Dr. Lott from Acupuncture is My Life. Now, in the second part of the second brain aspect of this series, I'd like to delve a little deeper into how your core can be seen as your second brain. But before I get started, I'd like to recommend that you go to www.acupunctureismylife.com to subscribe to the Acupuncture is My Life newsletter to learn more about what Acupuncture is My Life has to offer, as well as stick around to the end of this video to view yet another great core exercise from one of our fitness trainers in which you can do to strengthen your core. Now, when it comes to your core being considered as your second brain, as I touched on in my last episode, your core contains nerve cells that allow it to survive by itself without receiving any instructions from the brain whatsoever. Now, the process of digestion can, more so the process of peristalsis, can happen totally unattached and independent from the central nervous system. Now, what is peristalsis, you may ask? Okay, peristalsis is basically an involuntary constriction and relaxation of muscles of the intestines, creating wave-like movements, pushing what's been ingested forward to the anal area for excretion. Now, the nervous system that exists in your core has properties that function somewhat similar to the brain, or better to say, your central nervous system. Now, this neurological structure within your core is called the enteric nervous system, which among other things is responsible for optimal digestion, absorption, excretion, whereas all other organs associated with your core play a key role in a healthy balance of all yin and yang aspects of the human organism, or should I say homeostasis. Now, an internal imbalance or dysfunctional core is a core that is prone to playing a role in neurological diseases, as well as disorders such as asthma, cancer, chronic fatigue, depression, fibromyalgia, food allergy, irritable bowel syndrome, migraines, PMS, and so on. Whereas a long-term imbalance can lead to brain fog, chronic fatigue, Crohn's disease, lowered immunity, and toxemia as well. Now, this is why balance is key when it comes to your core, because our core has 100 trillion microorganisms residing in it, and the balance between good and bad bacteria is important. You see, this bacteria in your core and the byproducts in which it can produce tends to affect your mood, cognition, as well as your behavior. Now, this is one of many reasons as to why acupuncture treatments, as well as proper nutrition, and in some cases natural herbs, are important. Now, acupuncture in some cases is key for proper communication between both brains, both, of course, the one in your skull and the one in your midsection. Now, in Chinese medicine, we would call this area your middle burner, that being both your stomach and spleen from a Chinese medicine perspective. Now, I've treated tons of patients with auricular acupuncture and neuroacupuncture, which consists of needling acupuncture points on the head, which is pretty much painless, that enhances communication between the brain in your core and the brain in your skull. There are stomach and large intestine points in the area of the frontal lobe on your head that can treat stomach pain and discomfort in the upper epigastric region, as well as treating diarrhea and constipation. Now, think about how much we take the relationship between both brains for granted. Let's say, for instance, when we see something tasty, our brain sends a signal to our core to prepare for a delicious meal, doesn't it? Now, when we feel anxious or stressed, we tend to feel some type of abdominal pain, or we get diarrhea or nausea or butterflies as well, am I right? Now, auricular acupuncture is also a proven method for enhancing communication between both brains. For instance, needling stomach and spleen points in the ears, again, these two being yin and yang organs, which represent your middle burner, or again, should I say core in Chinese medicine, can treat diseases of the stomach, including indigestion, acute as well as chronic gastritis, peptic ulcers, and weakness following diseases, among others. Now, there are other yin-yang organ points in the air that can have an impact on your core as well, but I figured since I'm focused on the middle burner area of the body, I would limit my discussion to the stomach and spleen from an acupuncture point of view. Now remember, your diet, sleep, acupuncture treatments, as well as exercise can have a positive effect on the relationship between both brains. But speaking of exercise, let's view another exercise routine that's great for your core by Centrella.
Heel taps. Press your lower back firmly into the mat, roll your shoulders toward your knees, bring your heels into your glutes, and then grab for your heels, one side at a time, using the obliques in the front of the core. Reaching outside, drawing a little small C, just side to side. And each time you're reaching for that heel, engage the core onto the right side, engaging for the left, engaging on the right, and engaging on the left. Heel taps.
Now don't forget to subscribe to this channel to learn more about acupuncture, as well as download the Acupuncture is My Life app at the Google Play Store. And until next time, acupuncture is my life. What's yours?